things. Tell us a little bit about your mom.
Wow. My mom, I published a 200-page coffee table book on her about 10 years ago. And in the foreword, I'm just going to read you this briefly because it gives you a sense of who she is. I put, my mother, Rosemary, was many things: a woman with a wonderful sense of humor, an Irish beauty with exquisite taste, a fierce competitor, a courageous fighter, and a survivor. She was my best friend and hero. She was raised to become many things and accomplish much in her life. And in the eyes of God and the world, she did just that. Her life was filled with loving family and friends, heartbreaking loss, an enduring marriage, and 2 beautiful love stories. But what is most inspirational to me is how my mother faced the trials of alcoholism and depression during the course of a decade and was able to successfully overcome their harrowing consequences. She did this with an inner strength that was deeply rooted in her relationship with God and by finding a solution in surrender. Her lack of self-pity and graceful acceptance of her long struggle with Parkinson's disease was a testament to that strength and to her indomitable spirit. So my mother was locked up in a mental institution off and on for 10 years. And at one of the lowest points of her depression and mental illness, she set herself on fire. And I heard the scream,
oh, God,
emanating from the basement. I'm the one that found her. I went racing down the steps, and I was young. I was in 4th grade, I think, and she was completely in flames except for her face. And unfortunately, that wasn't her last time taking pills or drinking. She had many suicide attempts. She ended up, as I said, in a mental hospital off and on for a decade, had like 48 shock treatments. And I witnessed all this as a child. And it's so interesting, Rob, because I spent my childhood trying to save her. When she'd be passed out, I'd break into her room with a bobby pin. I'd find the pills, I'd empty them out, fill them with sugar. I'd empty out the vodka bottles, fill them with water, and try to sneak back in and put them back. But what I've come to discover in this journey of trying to tell her incredible survivor story is I spent my childhood trying to save her, but literally what I discovered is that she saved me. If it wasn't for Rosemary, I wouldn't be sober today. If it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't have gone into that treatment center. So it's really interesting. Yeah.